That connection between him and Jamar Chase, it is the best in the NFL. But my biggest takeaway is Chase Brown. So if I'm Zach Taylor, from an offensive standpoint, I'm trying to figure out every way possible I can utilize Chase Brown. In the run game, in the pass game, you see it. Joe Burrow goes back. It's not there. Okay, well, Chase Brown is going to be exactly what I need him to be. So I'm going to check it down to him, and he's going to get me positive yardage. Find a way to get this man the football so he can assist Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and also Joe Burrow.
Graz, we know this offense is great. And when you dedicate the amount of money the Bengals have dedicated to this offense, we know it's going to be great. Is it great enough to overcome the deficiencies on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, that's the key question, right? Because as much of a relief as it must be for Bengals fans to see the Joe Burrow-Jamar Chase connection finally coming together after all these years, I think they feel good about the offense here. I think when you do spend that amount of money on the offense, you have to hit on your defensive draft picks. And the Bengals have struggled to do that in recent years. First round pick this year, Shamar Stewart. We know he took a while to get into camp due to a contract issue. He's there now. He was making some plays last night. So that's an encouraging sign. They get the Trey Hendrickson contract situation figured out. Those could be bookend pass rushers. New defensive coordinator and Al Golden changing the scheme. I think the Bengals really, that's the key. Can they get that defense from the back end of the league to really just middle of the pack to support an elite playoff caliber offense? That's the question the Bengals are trying to sort out this offseason.
On the other side of the ball, or I should say on the other side of the field, stand the Philadelphia Eagles, who it might not have been their starters last night, but the brotherly shove still effective and still legal, I remind you, as the Packers, snitches, tried to go ahead and figure out a way to get that shut down in the offseason. Not so fast. What's the biggest key, Graz, for the defending champs this year as you try to assess them heading into the 25 campaign?
Turnover on the defensive side of the ball. And yes, they've been drafting replacements knowing that they were going to lose veterans on that side of the ball for a while now. But you still don't know until you expand the roles of these younger players if they're going to be able to handle it. And you saw the Eagles just this week make a trade with the Raiders to bring in another cornerback. They are looking for solutions on the back end of the defense. They're not sure yet if Adoree Jackson or Kelee Ringo is going to be the answer at that other cornerback spot, next to Quinyon Mitchell. So Eagles are trying to use this preseason to figure out which of their young guys can take on bigger roles and what that looks like on the defensive side of the ball for them.
If you were to highlight the big issue with the Philly defense going into the season, what would it be?
It was losing Darius Slay and also losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So when you look at that secondary like Dan Graziano just mentioned, and you watched the preseason game last night, it was on that third down, right, that Adoree Jackson gave up that play to Jamar Chase. It's also right here, Kelee Ringo getting beat by Jamar Chase on a back shoulder fade. And then what should be a routine 6 to 7 yard out route, and you tackle a wide receiver, it turned into a 31-yard touchdown. So cornerback number 2, who's going to be the guy that can step up outside for the Philadelphia Eagles? Not a good start last night in their first preseason game.
Not the only game in town as well. One of 3 we had on the card last night. The other that had a big storyline, this one right here, Indianapolis taking on Baltimore. Anthony Richardson's first drive of the season, 1st and 10 from the Indy 47, fakes the handoff and finds Adonai Mitchell for a gain of 15. Colts would go on to kick a field goal to go up 3-0. But this is the play everyone's talking about today. Watch David Ojabo coming unblocked off the left edge. Immediate sack of Richardson, shaken up on the play. Hot. Dislocated right pinky finger, done for the night. Here comes Daniel Jones. 1st and 10 from the Indy 29. Fakes the handoff, throws to Tyler Warren, the rookie out of Penn State. 23-yard gain. Warren finishes with 3 catches for 40 yards. Get him out. He looks game ready. Later in the drive, Colts on the Ravens 37. Jones finds Mitchell, 22 yards down the middle. Gets him in the field goal range. They convert now 14-6. Second quarter now. Colts down 14-6 still. Indy 48 under pressure for Jones. Rolling left. Float one to Ashton Doolin for a gain of 25. Great throw on the run by Jones. He gets the Colts another field goal. Finishes 10 of 21 for 144 yards. But most importantly, the injury to Anthony Richardson. Here he is on what went wrong last night.
That's a tricky one because it's 5-man pro, and I'm hot from the backside. I just got to get my eyes, just be able to, react to that. But just 5-man pro, just playing hot. I just got to be on my P's and Q's when it comes to that. it was just going to be hard for me to see it anyway because my eyes are looking a certain way. But I just got to be keyed on when everybody bringing pressure like that.
Damian Woody, you played offensive line at a high level for a long time in the NFL. Walk us through that play. What went wrong there?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what Baltimore did wasn't anything, exotic. It's what we call simulated pressure. They only brought 4 people in this thing. What you saw from the Baltimore Ravens, they dropped the defensive end on the top side, and then they brought the linebacker on the bottom side, and the defensive end came free because the tackle was always going to block the inside presence. And so if you're Anthony Richardson, you got to look for clues where the defense, what's going on with the defense. A lot of times in the secondary, particularly the safeties will tell a story of what's going to happen right there. He didn't get his eyes around it. He took a huge shot, which led to him being, ruled out for the remainder of the game.
Now, you're looking to the left side of the formation, right? And Anthony Richardson see that safety on the left side. He's not directly stacked behind that slot defender, but there's a possibility that, okay, this slot defender to the left might be coming. As soon as you see that safety roll to the middle of the football field, that guy's not coming because who the hell's going to guard him? Who is going to guard the guy that's going out in the route? So immediately you got to know that, okay, my offensive line is sliding left. My offensive tackle has to sift. What that means is he has to take the most dangerous of the two. If that linebacker comes, he's going to take the inside guy who is the most dangerous to get to the quarterback. Now you have that free rush on the end of the line of scrimmage. That running back is going to the flat as the hot guy. So immediately you should throw that football to that running back. That's the answer to the test. We know Anthony Richardson has the physical tools, but it's all about the mental part of the game, knowing the answers to the test. Can you get your team in the right protection? But if you don't change it, do you know where the answers are if they do bring a blitz from the weak side? On that clip right there, he did not know the answers to the test.
All right, Faraz, I want to bring him in real quick here because I want to get an idea. This is one of the hotly contested positional battles for the entire preseason. We've been keeping an eye on it and talking about it for a while. Where do we stand right now, Jones versus Richardson?
Well, right now, Jones is healthy and Richardson is not, and that's significant because Anthony Richardson's big problem, he needs to get better at a lot of stuff. He needs to be on the field in order to do that. This is a player who's missed 19 games his first 2 seasons in the NFL, has had a hard time staying consistently healthy. So the fact that he is injured in the first preseason game when he was expected to play more than he did could alter the plan for the competition. Is he going to be able to grip a football and play in next week's preseason game? If so, do you play him more than you initially planned in order to make sure that he gets the reps you need to see from him to make this a competition with him and Daniel Jones? But honestly, the fundamental issue is he's not on the field this week. He has to be on the field in order to get better at football. If he can't stay healthy, then it's going to be Daniel Jones, and Anthony Richardson's 1 year closer to being, honestly, I hate to say it about the kid, but maybe a wasted pick.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the whole thing. We could break down the play, and it's a rudimentary play, something that you install like one of the first days of training camp. But ultimately, it comes down to availability. Like, the Indianapolis Colts want Anthony Richardson to win the job. He was the number 4 overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft. Like, they want him to win the job. But again, it comes back down to availability. You have to be available. If I'm a veteran in that locker room, I want a guy that I can depend on week in and week out who's going to be there with me. And right now, I mean, I know it's early, but you already see signs that he's not available. You're making the decision for the organization.
I would also say, Woody, luckily for Anthony Richardson, we're up here talking about a dislocated pinky finger. Because when you don't see a defensive end that's coming full force, coming at you, and he hits you blindsided, that could lead to a concussion, that could lead to a collarbone, that could lead to a shoulder. So luckily, on this wonderful Love Friday, you know how we do it on Freddie, Freddie and Harry, we're talking about a pinky and not him being out for multiple weeks.
General manager Chris Ballard has been in Indy since 2017. There might not be a hotter general manager seat in all the NFL. Whether it's Jones, whether it's Richardson, they got to win, and they got to figure it out soon. Coming up, the patriarch of the Manning quarterback dynasty sounds off on Arch's future, why the eyes of Texas and the NFL need to pay attention to what was said.